walking the dog in the morning, the last thing you want to find on the path is a whole bunch of chicken bones. Actually, that's the second to last thing. The last thing would be a dead body. Today we talk with Blake Mara about Bone of Contention, the second in her Dog Park Detectives mystery series. Welcome to Blackbird Writers Presents Author Interviews. I'm Sharon Len, and welcome to you, Mara. Blake.
You can call me either. I answer to both. Um, thank you very much for having me on your podcast. I'm really, really happy to be here.
So happy to have you. And I so enjoyed reading this series. It's just, and it is called Dog Park Detectives, which means that all the characters have dogs. So my first question has to be, what kind of dog do you have?
I have a miniature sausage that should not surprise anybody. And I'm going to preempt another question and say, is the main character's dog based on my dog? Yes, 100% he is, down to the little idiosyncrasies.
Well, that is actually one of the delightful things about the book is that in addition to all of the characters, you have all of the characters' dogs, and they are all different, and they all are just so recognizable by breed. So one of my questions is, how much research do you do on dogs, and are any of the other dogs based on dogs you might have had or known?
Um, So it's wonderful to be able to do research down at the dog park, given how much time I actually spend down at the dog park. So I have gotten to know a couple of the other breeds just because friends of mine have Frenchies and other sausage dogs and pretty much anything under the sun. So I actually get in a lot of trouble for not basing some of the dogs in the book on my friends' dogs. Um, in some cases, I have, however, borrowed from experience. So there is a scene, and I'm not going to put any spoilers out there, but you'll know what I'm talking about, Sharon. There's a scene that is transcribed by the pack chat as to what happened with one of those dogs when she picked up and tried to eat something she shouldn't have. Because all our dogs do that, right? And unfortunately, that did happen to me. It was not fun. Um,
Yeah, no, that would
so I
not
mean,
be.
in some cases, while I haven't based any dogs or any humans other than my own on any real life ones, I have based sometimes some of the idiosyncrasies.
Absolutely. Yeah, when my dog was a puppy, I said the phrase, don't eat that, 400 times a day. He just, everything he walked by is like,
Have you seen the meme about how until I owned a dog, I never knew that no had three tenses? There's the first no when you're warning them not to do something. The second is no, 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 which is a present tense. They're doing something you really don't want them to do. And then there's the no.
no, not that, not, no.
And that is my life.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So, uh, there is a body. Um, I've already given that away, and it's how the book opens. So I don't think that's much of a spoiler. And when the constables come, your character calls them a bunny man or a bunny men. And I'm wondering where you got that phrase.
Kind of made that up. Mostly because when you see them with the paper suits to keep any sort of contamination off the scene, they always strike me as, and this is going to sound so silly, so bear with me. At Easter time, when somebody dresses up as the Easter bunny with the oversized, you know what I'm going?
I love it. No, that's fantastic.
So
I
they
think
do
that
kind of
is,
look like bunny.
yeah, Bunny Man.
Forgive me, anybody in the Met Police. I'm so sorry.
No, I think we should definitely get that term out there and just adopt it in general. I think that's awesome. All right, so I have to ask about this in the book, there is a town council decision to remove all of the bins, the trash cans, as we'd call them,
Yep.
um, in the area because people would do drug drops there,
Yep.
which of course just leaves people to drop trash on the ground. Uh,
Yep.
are you in an area that did that?
Yep. And I actually found where they're stored. There's a little area down further along the canal where you walk past and it's just this sea of unused rubbish bins. And it's like, come on, guys.
It's
You
just
know, it's
there one night and drag them out. Well, when
frustrating.
yeah, it's an interesting decision. When
It
I
makes no sense to me. It's it where I live along one of the canals, and the nearest rubbish bin along the canal is 20 minutes in one direction and 15 minutes walk in the other direction. And yeah, I'll carry it, but I know a lot of people who won't carry their little bag of poop. So you see, bags of poop, they've already done the hard work. They've already put it in the bag,
just
but
keep
there's no place
carrying
to
it.
put it. And
Yeah,
it just baffles my mind.
yeah. Oh, that's when I lived in Bath, when I was a teenager, it was the early 80s, and there was a whole lot of bomb threats, and the IRA would put
Hmm.
bombs in trash cans. So there were anywhere, anywhere you could not find a public trash
Yeah.
can. And what you had was a whole lot of trash. And I'm a little baffled that they think that's a
So,
good
so
decision.
Tower Hamlets haven't removed all of the trash cans around the council, but all the ones along the canal they seem to have removed. They do a lot of things I don't entirely understand. And
Um,
apologies for the dog barking. Somebody is trying to commit a crime by going into their own flat.
it's like there will be none of that.
How dare they?
Okay, well, so obviously your experience and where you are is lending itself to the setting of the book. So, tell us a little bit more about that. East End of London.
Yep. Yep. So, unlike most cozy crimes that are set in lovely idyllic areas, I have set mine in a grotty part of London, where dead bodies are not really beyond the imagination. Um, it is one of those areas that's kind of badged up and coming. And when I was moving here, it was kind of pitched as, kind of like New York's meatpacking district, when it was just getting trendy. And I moved from West London, which was quite lovely, to East London, which is kind of edgy. I thought, okay, this is going to be fun. My flat is lovely. I really, this is great. But it's a very interesting place because you've got kind of three different demographics that are coexisting in the same place. You've got the old East London wide boys, um, Cockneys, with lovely Cockney slang sort of thing and wonderful terms. You've got people like me, the professionals who moved in because you can get a nicer flat here. It's got great links to the financial district down in Canary Wharf and into the city. And then you've got a Southeast Asian community who, for the most part, tend to stay fairly insular by themselves. And actually, come to think of it, all three groups kind of, for the most part, don't really intermingle that much, with the exception of the dog park, where not so much the Southeast East Asians, they don't tend to like dogs very much. I'm generalizing here. But you will see some of the old East Londoners down at the dog park. And sometimes, you get to talking and you find out just how colorful their history is. And that kind of gave rise to one of my favorite characters in the book, Gav.
Yeah, he's a fun one. I enjoyed him as well.
He's so grumpy. He's wonderful.
Um, so one of the things that you mentioned with some of these more on the edge people who are hanging around is not nitrous oxide, which is laughing gas and little canisters
Yes.
of nice nitrous oxide. Is this an endemic problem in London?
I can't speak about the other boroughs, but in my neighborhood, it is a big problem. It used to be you would have these little silver capsules, a little sea of them in certain areas, bizarrely playgrounds, certain parts around the canal, parking lots. And a couple of years ago, they moved from the little capsules to the big canisters, which
Oh,
kind of are about a bigger than like a ready whip canister sort of thing.
oh my goodness.
And by and large, I'm a very live and let live sort of person. So, you do you, boo. But the worry I have is A, they don't clean up after themselves, and B, they'll decant the nitrous oxide into a balloon and inhale it from the balloon. And you see people driving cars with the little balloons. And to me, that's very frightening because that these guys are already driving top speed in 10-year-old cars, and it's only a matter of time before they clip somebody. So
Yeah,
that really genuinely worries me.
yeah. Yeah. I tried it once at the dentist and it made me nauseous. So I don't get it at all.
It's not my thing either. My drug of choice is a glass comes in a glass in two colors. I do like a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit boring about things like that.
That is okay.
It is okay. It works for me.
Um, yeah, that not nitrous oxide. I haven't seen that anywhere in the American Southwest yet, but uh, I'm sure it'll find its way.
I hope it doesn't.
I do too. Again, because of the litter, that it's just um
Litter is a problem in this neighborhood. And I talk about the litter a lot in Bone of Contention because that is my bone of contention. Um, and it's almost like some people think that it's somebody else's job to clean up after them. And for the life of me, I don't understand that because I was always taught to, respect other people and respect the neighborhood, and it's a big thing. So I find it a bit frustrating.
you're spreading the word with your novels.
Yes. However, I will say that my dog does like the McDonald's bags on the ground because those seem to be his favorite thing to wee on.
Well, really, what dog wouldn't? I had
Told you, some of these idiosyncrasies are from real life.
I had a dog once who she liked cicadas, the little buzzing bugs.
Yeah.
Um, and we were living on the East Coast at the time, and there was an infestation of them. And so she was walking down the street just eating these cicadas like popcorn, and it was just the most appalling thing. And again, those three tenses of no. So yeah,
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
dogs are so much fun. So the way you
Hold on, I'm
have,
going to show you mine. Who's
oh
just
goody.
come in.
Oh, oh. He's so sweet. Oh, my cousins had a dachshund that looked just like that, and his name was Midnight, and he was just the smartest thing. You'd throw a ball up on the roof, and the second it left your hand, before it even landed on the roof, he would run and he would sit and he'd open his mouth, and it always
Yeah.
fell directly in. It's like it has, no matter what we did to try to confuse him with our fancy throws, he was always like, whoop, whoop.
They are so smart, it's not even funny. Um,
So cute.
and he always has an opinion on things, which probably is not unlike me, so forgive me.
Well, yeah, we have he's a Border Collie mini Aussie mix, and uh he's very well behaved, but only because he wants to be, because he has very strong opinions. And he's not motivated by food. He's only motivated by fun. So if it's not fun, he'll just sit down and stare at you. Like, I'm not going to do that. It's not fun. Fortunately, he's small enough. I can pick him up. So uh, we had a
It
full,
makes a big difference when they
yeah,
get the brakes on. You can
we had a full Border Collie was our last dog, and he was not as well behaved, but he listened better. So yeah, you never know. Smart dogs always, they're fun. So you,
absolutely, and that and they all have their own personalities, and it's just so amazing watching them interact with each other, with you, with just
yeah,
everything.
which you weave into your stories, which is wonderful. So you have like your main characters are sort of Louise and then Andy the detective, but you have the entire pack,
Yeah,
everybody who meets in the dog park, and
yeah,
so how and those characters get chapters of their own, really
yeah,
creates this delightful uh, really creates this delightful ensemble cast and feeling.
yeah.
So how do you keep all that straight?
That's a really good question. Um, Mostly when I'm writing, it's who needs to do that chapter. And sometimes I'll start it off with one voice and I'll be like, no, that's not right. It's not going to be Irina. It needs to be Claire because it's going to tie in with something else that she's already working on. Or intentionally, it's not going to tie in with something she's working on. So it normally will depend on what has to happen. Um, I don't know about you, Sharon, but with me, I'm more of a pantser than a plotter. Um, so I know where it starts. I have a vague idea where it ends, but I don't actually find out exactly how it's going to end until I write it. So what I normally will tend to do is I'll write it mostly in Louise, and then I'll go back and fill in other characters as I need to going through. Which sometimes means I then have to do another draft just to clean it up a little bit. Um, but every chapter starts off with the pack chat. So it kind of will also give an indication of who's talking when and what they're about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's masterfully done. It's really fun to read.
Thank you.
It's like, oh, I get to read this character now. Are you?
I've not seen the pack chat or that sort of thing done in a lot of other books. And it's kind of struck me when I was writing the first one. It's like, well, that's how my pack communicates. We don't call each other up. We don't, always, are joined by the hip and moving together. It's all going through the chat.
Mhm.
So why not include that in?
Yeah, no, it's delightful. And you could, I mean, the character voice is so clear throughout. It's
Yeah,
like, okay, this is definitely a Louise text.
I have pictures in my mind of each of them. And I do have a master spreadsheet, which will have each of the characters, their partner, if they have one, physical description, personality description, what type of pet do they have, and any idiosyncrasies their pet might have. And I tend to remember most of it, but every so often I've changed a detail around from what it is in my brain, and I have to go back and say, "Oh, damn, what was Claire's surname again?" Um, so I've got all that in one place. So hopefully I don't mess up.
That's that's very, very helpful.
Well, the thing is as you say, there are a lot of characters in the book, and I know that that's something that can be a little bit intimidating. But I try to make it easier for readers, and I have the Meet the Pack at the beginning of the book,
With the dog.
where it show flash a copy of this because it
Please
is kind
do.
of cute. Um, it has not just a little bit about each of the individuals, but a little bit about their dog and a little picture of the dog. So if you don't know, for example, what
A Frenchie.
a Frenchie looks like or a Staffy, then you can
Daffy, I
actually
had to
get
look
a
up.
good indication.
Yeah, yeah. No, and that is also in the ebook version, and it is helpful, and you do go back to it and look, and yeah, it's very fun. Um, all right. This is a follow-up question. Have you ever been tempted to write from one of the dog's points of view?
Do you know? Um, in the main series, no, because I read a book once that was written from the dog's perspective, The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein,
Mhm.
and I don't think I could do as good a job as he did, because I think his that book was absolutely masterful. Every so often, I dabble with if I was to write a children's book, could I do something with the dogs that way? Maybe,
I think that would be
maybe.
wonderful, especially since you have their personalities just so distinctive and fun and yeah. And again, when you have a smart dog, you know what they're thinking.
Oh yeah, oh, yeah.
Right.
And I do have a couple of ideas, but I kind of think right now I've got this series going through. I've got my espionage series that I'd like to give a push over the line as well. And I think once I can get my head a little bit more above water there, maybe I could do a children's series. We'll see.
That would be awesome. All right. So that's actually was my next question is what is next for you? So I saw that your series was extended by Penguin, is
Yeah.
it? Congratulations on
Simon and
that.
Schuster.
I'm
Simon and
sorry,
Schuster.
Simon and Schuster.
So I have already submitted the third book. I've got a very rough plan because I write down a plan and it goes totally out the window for the fourth book. And because my neighborhood is the gift that, and apologies, he's now commenting on an Amazon guy underneath the window. Um, like, leave it. And that's another thing. I stole his name for my name, from my writing name, in case people hadn't caught on to that. So yeah, so I've got another two books for Simon and Schuster. And this neighborhood is the sort of place that keeps on giving. There's always something crazy happening here. So anytime something happens, I'll write it down and think, can I put this in one of the books I'm working on, or would that be its own book in the future? So beyond book four, I have ideas for another couple of books if everything goes well and if SNS still want it. Um, I also am working on my third espionage book. So writing as Mara Timon, I've got two espionage books that have already been published, and I got distracted from the third with the dogs, and I really want to finish that one.
Well, those are very different, I mean, parts of your brain as far as writing goes.
Yeah, I enjoy both of them in different ways. I mean, I love history, so for me to go to the National Archives and do the research there, and to go to wherever I'm writing about, and to walk the streets, and to understand how the place becomes a character, is really important to me. Um, I don't have to do that as much over here. So the research I do for the dog books is really going down to the dog park and hanging out with my friends and their dogs, which
Yeah, gotta do anyway.
going to dog events. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's two different sides, but yeah, they're both good.
And finally, for our fans, where can they find you? Your social medias, websites,
Yep.
things like that.
So I have a website. It's blakemara.com. So no full stops, no hyphens, just one word. And on social media, both X and Insta, I'm at the Blake Mara.
All right. There we
So
go.
easy. It should be easy enough to find me.
Should be really easy.
It should be. I can run, but I can't. Um,
Well,
but I also do try to haven't gotten to the States for many dog or riding events yet, but I would like to. But for those people watching in the UK, I do try to go to dog events as well. So I will be at Dogfest. I will be at Chiswick House. I will be at, as many as I can get to just because I absolutely love them.
that's so much fun.
Honestly, it's the stuff I would have been doing if I wasn't writing about dogs. But now I can say, oh yeah, it's research.
It's research. That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for making the time to meet with me and chat today. And thank you all for watching Blackbird Writers Presents Author Interviews.
Thank you very much.